went out and I flew today. I'm in pre-production on this project that I was lucky enough to get going. So my days are jam-packed, and if I have to fly, so I don't forget how to fly. So today I flew up from Los Angeles all the way up to Bakersfield, and there's a couple airports up there, an uncontrolled and a controlled, meaning one doesn't have a tower and the other one does. So I went to the uncontrolled. They got fuel there, and, deliberately went up there light just because try to, there's always a little tricky thing when this one's got this weird thing where you stick your gas card in, and then it fucking asks you what your password is. And I thought it was for my credit card. And I was getting it wrong for like 10 minutes, but they're like printing a slip, and you got to take the slip and then read the password. I don't know what the fuck it's. So anyways, but it was fun. And we ended up going, over to the controlled one. And then we flew out to the east, and there was a couple of uncontrolled ones, and they had like these glider airplanes out there. This really great little restaurant called the Raven or something like that. Raven's Nest. And I was just watching these planes like towing these gliders out there, and it's just like I was talking to my instructor going, those have to be like some of the best like pilots out there as far as like if they're ever in a Cessna and there's an engine failure, I don't think they're that the only thing I would think is that those gliders can glide a lot longer and farther, so they got to like take that into consideration. But like, it's every single landing that they do is essentially an engine failure. It's really fucking amazing. So we were watching these planes like tow them out and stuff, and it was amazing. And it was really windy when we were up there. We were heavy. We had fuel. We had 2 people in there, and everything was good. And then, I went to go off the little the taxiway, and I made a left and just got spun around by the wind. The low RPM horn came on. I was like, what the fuck? So I learned something there. Did the dumb thing is I started going down to the ground. I started pulling the collective up instead of putting it down. So it got a little hairy there for a second, but then I was able to kind of like figure it out. The help of my instructor or whatever, but I never fly at that altitude, so I was just like, all right. So I learned a whole bunch of shit just in those couple of seconds. So that also was flying. And by the way, none of it was, it was like literally like, I'm like a foot off the ground. So it wasn't anything crazy. It's just one of those little squirrely things that can happen if you're at a high altitude with a lot and you're heavy. So anyway, I just kind of flew all around out there. I'm kind of liking flying up there. I've kind of flown over LA for 6-7 years, and I'm bored with it. And then you get out there in the desert, and it's amazing, and there's like nobody out there. And then also, if you ever had a problem, you can fucking put it anywhere, as opposed to like when you're in LA where there's all kinds of like wires and fucking all kinds of other bullshit, houses, people, that type of stuff. So anyway,